Well, today I have a chair next to me that's actually got somebody in it, and that somebody is Mr. Parthy Chetty. Now, Parthy is the Executive Director of the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists, and those of you who watch these inserts will know that on face value I've often spoken about the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists, and therefore it's really good to have the Executive Director here. But I thought what I'd like Parthy to do is to share with us the journey that he's travelled with the Eskom Expo, culminating in his current position. So Parthy, maybe trace for us your history and involvement with the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists.
Thank you, Ian. I'm a teacher by profession, so I've got experience at school level and the value that science has. Then I worked for Intel Corporation, one of the leading IT companies, and I started their education initiatives in South Africa. One of them is supporting and promoting science.
Right.
And I've been involved with the Eskom Expo since 2002 on the board of directors, and I learned a lot in that process. And then there came a time in my life when after 10 years in the private sector, I wanted to focus on promoting science and getting more involved in these kind of activities. And that's when I took a decision to leave Intel. And eventually I was out in the market and I said, look, I'd like to join an organization or do kind of work like what's being done at Expo. And I was quite fortunate that going through the process, the board did interview me and said, we'd like you to come and join this organization. And I didn't need the second invitation, I jumped on it.
I think that's a remarkable observation, and I must say, as you know, I've been involved as well, but far more peripherally than perhaps you have. But it's one of those things where you wonder how you find the time to get involved, and as soon as you get involved, it starts doing a whole lot of things in your mind, one of which is convincing you of the future of the country. It also convinces you that the youth have incredible potential. And in that regard, we've just completed the International Science Fair out here in Boksburg. And maybe just talk us through your assessment of this event in 2014.
Sure, thanks, Ian. One of the generic statements that one of the ex-CEOs of Intel used to say is, we get involved in education because it's the right thing to do. And I'd like to say the same applies to Expo, and we can unpack 100 reasons why it's the right thing to do. But more importantly, we are the foundation of the future scientists. Nobody can deny that. We are working hand in hand with the government departments, the school system. We're working hand in hand with universities. We're working hand in hand with private sector research institutions. So we've reached a stage whereby we're bringing all the key players together, and we are building up the value of the Expo and the impact it's going to have. This year was remarkable. For the first time, we had almost 60% female participants at Expo. Now remember, one of our strategies is to get more girl learners involved. And this is a worldwide phenomenon, it's not just South African. So we are on the money on that, we're doing an exceptional job, and I think we're getting fantastic talent coming through because of the way we are reaching down to grassroots, and we're not just rewarding excellence, we are starting to build towards excellence.
Now, following up on that theme, one of the things that's happened with the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists is the strengthening of the provincial component with the employment of provincial coordinators, working in parallel with volunteers. And just help us understand what you imagine the future of the Eskom Expo will look like, particularly when we consider that regional component.
So the strength of the Expo over the past 34 years has been in the volunteers, and that's not going to change. We have passionate people, and they do it for the right reasons. They are passionate. They do not have the time to expand this on their own. They have full-time jobs. So the board took a decision 2 years ago that to professionalize the organization, we need full-time people. And these full-time people are going to start expanding the reach of Expo at grassroots, at the provincial level. So we've got 31 regions, and we've reached 17,000 learners this year, and we can double that number every year. We need to double that number. It's only possible if we do it at the regional level.
Excellent, and I think that's a vision which I think any South African would be incredibly supportive of. Maybe a last comment. There are a number of organisations that support the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists, but the naming sponsor, of course, is Eskom. And I would like a view from you, but my sense is that Eskom supporting this is probably sending out a very, very strong message about the development of the future of the nation.
Absolutely. It would be good if we have more title sponsors along, especially in the provinces, so each province can have a title sponsor. I think Eskom is leading the way in saying, guys, we're going to step up and we're going to do this. And it's had a tremendous effect because there are a number of organizations that now want to be part of this. Even though the title sponsorship is Eskom, they want to be part of this because they can see the success. There is no other organization that operates the way the Eskom Expo does, and it is the largest on the continent at the moment.
And it's a pre-competitive environment. What stops any industry getting involved? Because why? It's supporting the youth of the country and therefore the future of the economy.
We create healthy competition, even among the universities, even among the private sector. All we're saying is, guys, this is the breeding ground for the brightest young minds. You better be part of this, or you will lose out.
Exactly. Party, thanks very much, man.
Thank you, Ian.